Hello and welcome to Strategic News International. I am Nitin A Gokhale, and today I want to give you an overview of the new national security architecture that has been put in place after a recent discussion and review that was carried on for almost 3 years. And the scope of the National Security Council Secretariat, headed by the National Security Advisor Ajit Doval, has been put in place. What does it involve? What does it entail? And how has the scope been expanded? Let me give you an idea. Now, you have the Prime Minister at the apex of the decision making, followed by the Cabinet Committee on Security, and then the NSA, the National Security Advisor, who heads the NSCS, that is the National Security Council Secretariat. Now, the change in this from the previous arrangement and structure is that now we have 3 deputy national security advisors, each looking after a particular vertical, as they call it, which gives them specific tasks, which is to look after specific areas. And there is one military advisor who's a notch below the deputy national security advisors. So the first national security advisor or the deputy national security advisor is Ravi, who is a former intelligence bureau official and who is in charge of the internal security vertical. The internal security vertical is entrusted with looking at the border area development, counter-terrorism, neighboring countries which have bearing on India's internal security, and also liaising with some of the multilateral arrangements like the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, which is essentially a counter-terrorist outfit for countries which are headed by Russia and China. So he is in charge of this internal security arrangement. The second deputy NSA is a former diplomat or a current diplomat about to retire from the Indian Foreign Service, Pankaj Suren, who's in charge of the external affairs and of foreign affairs, which also his remit also overlaps with the internal security advisor in terms of the neighborhood. So countries around India's periphery will have something common to share with the internal security vertical. So he will look after the immediate periphery and the extended neighborhood, and also India's relationships with China, Russia and US, the 3 big countries that India has strategic relations and which are important for India. So he will be in charge of that. The third deputy NSA is in charge of technological issues, including the ISRO for space issues, cyber security, the digital frontier, and of course the DRDO, which is part of the defense services. And the military advisor in turn has the mandate to liaise with all the 3 deputy NSAs on specific issues concerning the 3 service headquarters and also modernization of the forces and what impact the PLA modernization will have on India's security posture. But on the other hand, the internal security vertical will also look after or is entrusted with looking at the PLA posture along the LAC or the line of actual control with China, the Himalayan frontier. So it's a bit of a mix. So what it has done, this revamped and restructured national security architecture, is to involve almost all important ministries and not confined to the security and defense ministries like the MOD and the MHA. Earlier that was the system. Now you have the railways, the civil aviation, you have border roads, you have Ministry of Road Transport and Shipping. All of these ministries are represented in the internal security vertical, and they give their inputs. And the final point I want to make in the about the new national security architecture is that from being an intelligence assessment agency confined to only giving intelligence assessments, long big reports, the National Security Council Secretariat is now entrusted with looking at comprehensive national security, including non-traditional security threats, which includes climate change, floods, earthquakes, and how to mitigate some of these issues in collaboration with important ministries. So, apart from doing the assessments, the NSCS is now also entrusted with giving policy inputs to the cabinet and to the CCS especially on security matters, which in turn then goes to the Prime Minister. So, from being a body that would take its time to give long reports, the NSCS is now actually working on real-time basis to give important inputs to the Prime Minister for taking the crucial decisions in running the country and also keeping the country safe. That's all I have for you right now, but we will keep coming back with such explainers for the benefit of our viewers from time to time. Until then, it's goodbye and good luck.